As I was watching videos, I've noticed that different YouTubers suggest different gunsmiths for the Oden, and of course I've decided to try them all out, just so I know that I'm using the best one or how they differ. This one's Bobby's from his recent meta video. Next we got iFerg's most recent recommendation. Rebalo's Gunsmith is old, but it is just the latest they found for the Oden. And finally Vague's Gunsmith. Now Bobby's build, it has the barrel for better movement, and it kind of feels like a variant of Dire Rage with worse bullet spread accuracy, but better damage. And whenever I played with it, the lack of range as well as accuracy, it felt kind of odd compared to other Oden builds, and it is usable, like, don't get me wrong, but you kind of just have to prioritize close to somewhat mid-range encounters, and I just don't think that is what Oden is supposed to be. Like, it does not really fit the gun. In such case I would rather just use the Dire Rage, like I said. But if you want to have a Dire Rage with better damage and worse bullet spread accuracy, you can use this build. iFerg's variant is slightly slower, but it has better range and better bullet spread accuracy and recoil. And it is a very old gunsmith, really, like we were being suggested with gunsmith many seasons ago, but it is still usable even now. And I would say that it is more versatile because, like I said, the range is better. And even though it is slower, well, I'm using Skulker with the Oden for better strafing, so it kind of compensates that on this and all the other builds. And I think that I kind of prefer this over Bobby's. Now Rebalo's build, like I said, is old, but it is basically the latest I found from his videos. He hasn't made one this season, and it was actually my favorite build. I was using it before I started testing the gunsmiths to make this video, and it has the ranger barrel which improves recoil, bullet spread accuracy and range, and also combat stock instead of IKM for faster ADS time. Earlier he used, and pretty much everyone else used, the IKM because it gives you better ADS movement speed, but it was nerfed and now it gives you extra hit flinch. And that is really not ideal. And like I said, so this build has good recoil, good range, and is really good for a versatile playstyle, as you can have battles like up close and in longer ranges. Pretty much like Oden should be. And of course the Oden damage is available. And finally Vague's recommendation, which is basically just like Rebalo's, except instead of the combat stock, he uses the extra mag for 5 extra bullets, but worse reload time and worse movement. And I think that it almost feels like he just looked at the Rebalo's build and made a change to be more unique. Because we don't really need those 5 extra bullets, and having slower movement speed on a slow gun, even with Skulker, like, it just does not add much. And otherwise it is identical to what Rebalo is using, like I said. But it's not bad, like, it is usable, just I don't really see a point to have a mag. Like, this attachment just does not make much sense. And if you don't have a Legendary or Mythic Oden variant, or you don't have a Battle Pass one, and the default iron sight doesn't fit your liking, you could actually just remove the mag, or from Rebalo's build the combat stock and simply put a red dot. Because of attachments, well, FMJ, the Wall Bank penetration packet was on all the builds, so we needed granulated grip tape, we needed Ranger barrel, I would say that we needed monolithic suppressor too, and so that gives you 4 attachments and 1 flex slot, which can be the IKM or it can even be the red dot, like I mentioned. And overall, well, I like Rebalo's build, and it is what I will keep on using. Bobby's, it did not make sense, in a sense that it just makes the gun be like a die rich variant, and then we have no reason to not just use the die rich. Now Vague's, like I said, just feels like a rip-off of Rebalo. And iFerg's, well, it is good, but it is just a very old classic one, and both the Operator foregrip and the IKM light stock were nerfed. And again, bullet spread accuracy is not the best. It is kind of versatile, but just I don't see much of a point to prioritize it over other builds. But that would be my testing conclusion, and if you have some gunsmiths or just observations, feel free to write them down in the comments. Also, it took me a bit over a week to record this video, because I had to playtest the weapons in bigger maps, because in small maps I would use just other guns. So I think that I've saved a lot of time for you. And I hope that you found value and you will use the best gunsmith for the Oden for you.